Wuthering Waves 3.7 is bringing Shin, and based on what we are seeing, her kit is completely rewriting the rules for field time economy. Today, we are breaking down her dual form mechanics, analyzing her resonance modes, and comparing her theoretical damage windows to current electro staples. By the end of this video, I will give you a definitive conclusion on whether Shin's overloaded kit is actually going to carry your Tower of Adversity runs, or if she is just a mechanical trap designed to drain your astrites. Now, to be completely transparent, this next part is pure leak territory. What is officially locked in by Kuro Games is absolute nothing, whereas what we are looking at today is a very early kit draft for Shin. This means abilities, names, numbers, and entire mechanics could change or be completely reworked before her official release. Currently, Shin is rumored to be a 5-star Electro Rectifier, but she operates unlike anyone else on the roster by utilizing two entirely different forms, her normal form and her Sentinel form. Each of these states has its own bespoke moveset and enhanced state, while she simultaneously manages two distinct resonance modes that alter how she approaches combat. Let's isolate her normal form first. In Phase 1, Shin executes a 4-hit basic attack combo, which flows into a standard heavy attack and a specialized core heavy attack. She is also equipped with two different resonance skills, providing multiple execution vectors while she remains in her base state. But the absolute highest density of mechanical value here lies in her two resonance modes, Electro Flare and Tune mode. Shin can actively switch between these two modes, with each one heavily specializing in a distinctly different primary damage-dealing archetype. Instead of being locked into a single fixed playstyle like a traditional sub-DPS or hyper-carry, Shin could potentially adapt her damage output depending on which resonance mode she is currently using. If Electro Flare scales off basic attack multipliers while Tune Mode leans into heavy attack or liberation damage, you are looking at a character who can completely bypass the standard synergy locks that gate other units. Moving into Phase 2, Shin enters her Sentinel form, and this is where her entire moveset completely transforms. Instead of utilizing her standard 4-hit basic attack combo, she shifts to a completely new 3-hit basic attack sequence, which is immediately followed by an enhanced basic attack capable of landing up to 4 hits. Her heavy attack multiplier windows also receive multiple structural upgrades here, granting her access to a dedicated enhanced heavy attack and a heavy attack finisher. Sentinel form inherently appears to function as a highly advanced combat state carrying its own unique set of attacks, rather than acting as a simple numerical buff to her normal form. We also need to factor in her liberation economy, because Shin is rumored to possess two different ultimates. While we do not have the exact mathematical details for either ultimate yet, having access to two separate liberations could directly tie into her distinct forms or serve as a catalyst for other mechanics within her kit. Furthermore, another incredibly interesting layer to her kit is the inclusion of a domain field. The exact buff or debuff effects of this field have not been revealed yet, so we cannot accurately calculate how pivotal it will be to her core rotation. However, considering the sheer volume of different mechanics Shin already possesses, this domain could easily end up being a major part of her gameplay. She also reportedly features coordinated attacks, strongly suggesting that Shin may be able to deal consecutive off-field damage alongside her teammates under certain conditions. When you synthesize all of this data, her kit starts to look heavily bloated compared to a typical character's framework. You have a normal form granting a 4-hit basic combo, a heavy attack, a core heavy attack, and 2 resonance skills. Then she can transition into her Sentinel form that completely rewrites her attacks into a 3-hit combo, introduces enhanced basic and heavy attacks, and caps off with a heavy finisher. Layered completely over that, she has Electro Flare and Tune mode, with each resonance mode reportedly focusing on a completely different primary damage-dealing archetype. This combination could afford Shin an unprecedented level of team-building flexibility, especially if switching between her forms and resonance modes becomes an important part of her rotation. However, I need to give you an honest Metacritique right now. This level of complexity is a massive double-edged sword. While the flexibility sounds incredible on paper, characters with highly complex, multi-state kits typically demand an absurd amount of field time to properly execute their rotations. If Shin requires 10 to 12 seconds of field time just to cycle through her normal form, build her resonance mode, pop her domain field, and execute her Sentinel form combos, she is going to absolutely ruin the rotation economy for quick swap teams. If you are already running top-tier DPS units, Shin might end up being a massive luxury pull that actively fights your other characters for screen time. If her raw multipliers don't significantly outpace current meta options, she is going to feel like you are doing 3 times the mechanical work just to achieve the exact same clear times. There is still a massive amount of data we don't know, including the scalings on her 2 ultimates, the exact parameters of her domain field, the trigger rate of her coordinated attacks, and the true differences between Electro Flare and Tune Mode. For now, it is better to think of this as a very early look at the direction of her kit rather than a finalized, pull-ready version. But if these deep interwoven mechanics actually survive into her final release, Shin could end up having one of the more complex and versatile kits in Wuthering Waves. Let me know in the comments if you think switching between dual forms and resonance modes is the next evolution of combat, or if her kit sounds like an overcomplicated nightmare. Subscribe and turn on notifications to catch my full mathematical breakdown the second her final scalings are locked in. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.